Can the Maono P1 hybrid audio interface make a cheap or budget microphone like the Fifine K688, which is a very popular microphone, and make it sound professional? Have you ever wondered why your microphone sounds flat, noisy, or just doesn't have that YouTube polish or podcast sound? Well, today we're taking the K688 and putting it to the test combined with the Maono P1 to see if we can make this thing sound polished and probably not the way it sounds right now out of box. So we're going to compare direct PC audio with the K688 versus it connected via XLR to the P1 and see if this is kind of the right audio interface setup for you out there. All right, so before anything, like, subscribe, and go home. What? Before we get started, I want you to check out the quality of this audio right here, and then we're going to switch over to another audio routing. What do you think of the quality of the audio right here with the very same microphone? Which one's USB? Which one is XLR? Let's go ahead and do a comparison between the USB of this microphone, just connecting it to your computer so you can hear what it sounds like and how you can use it plug and play versus using something like this particular audio interface, which has tons of gain. That's right, 70 dB at least of gain to support things like the Shure SM7B, just about any XLR gain hungry microphone. The Maono ProStudio P1. Very nice hardware we got going on here. So there's quite a few things you can do. Well, this can do for you to increase your audio quality from USB to XLR. It's not just the XLR interface. Has quite a few features built into this particular device. Podcasting, content creation, streaming, you name it. It has all of those capabilities built in for you. 70 dB of gain for all of my gamers out there, content creators with super gain hungry microphones. If you have a Shure SM7B, don't worry about it. I think that just needs like 50 or 60 dB to fully power it. This goes overboard, so don't worry about that. Again, 24-bit device. Pretty nice for nice crispy audio detail. Nice amplifier for your headphones. Audio driver support. That's right. So you get ultra low latency with this thing in real-time monitoring, which is pretty nice. Hybrid connectivity. USB-C. Connect to your computer. OTG, you can connect to your camera for direct recording. That's right. No latency, when you do it in that way. So pretty good for direct camera support. And of course, your outputs are headphones, speakers, PC, iPad, mobile devices, iPhone, and cameras directly to a DSLR like I'm recording right now. High Z input for your instruments, so you're going to get some really crispy clean gain for your instruments. It does support VST plugins, so get any kind of equalizers that you can get and import that so you can equalize your microphone even further. Add special effects to your mic. Dual virtual submixes, custom sound pads. Yep. Lots of sound pad features here, plenty of sound pads you can add to it. Now, one thing you might want to go ahead and install is the ProStudio 2 for the P1, which is going to be probably for my streamers and podcasters out there for your audio routing. And it's a basic install. You just click OK, install, click next. I'll just run through the install here with you just to show you how easy it is. It's a very quick install to install this. Now, you may require a reboot because it's going to set up your machine with audio routing capabilities and different ways to route your audio and your channels, and all of those can be designated and configured individually. So we're going to go ahead and reboot, and I'll be back in 30 seconds. Stand by for 30 seconds. Actually, for you to be like 1 second, for me 5 minutes. And once you install that ProStudio, you're going to see the application come up right here in your face, a full-on suite for streamers, content creators, podcasters to route your audio in a number of different ways: your microphones, your music, your chats, and so on, your gameplay if you're gaming live or pre-recorded. All of those features here. You have hardware input channels, which are right here, 3 hardware input channels, and you have virtual input channels right here, 3 as well. So 6 in total, including your sound input channel, which is your sound effects. And there are tons here that you can add, 8 pages of sound effects. And with the sound effects, you can do a number of things, right? Change the color if you like, turn it for loop on or loop off. So pretty cool. Import your own sound effects if you would like to import a sound effect from your computer. So you can customize sound effects. You can customize your routing here. tons of things you can do here. Control panel here to link any of your routing here. If you would need that link, turn them on and off. If you want them on and off, includes ASIO drivers for your audio pleasure, right? You can change the sampling rate, increase that to a lot. Yes. So as same for the ASIO buffer size, you can include a number, increase the samples here. So keep it on safe mode because you want it to just keep working, right? All of this stuff can be experimental based on your setup. Okay, so let's go ahead and close that and let's dig into the Maono ProStudio P1. Nice hardware we got going on with the P1 in your disgusting little mouth. Techies and gamers, look at that wonderful hardware. Now that is plastic on the front, but you have some heavy metal stuff going on the inside. It definitely feels super premium in hand and has some nice weight to it. And on the back of that, you can see the 2 ports there for your dual speakers. That's right, for stereo output monitors, your high Z connection for instrument support, XLR, of course. You can connect your mobile device, you can connect your camera, and you can connect your iPad, and the sort DSLR camera connects to there as well for 0 latency. That's right. And on the front of that bad boy, what do we got going on? Well, we got a couple things going on. We got the mic input gain control, obviously for your line in. Over here for your instrument, there's no instrument connected, so you don't see anything lit up. Direct monitoring, obviously, and you have 48 volts if your mic requires 48 volts on the front of that. Right here, we have our monitor for your monitoring of your camera, for example. So we can control that monitoring. This is for your headphones in case you want to like lower your headphones, it's too loud. You can mute these by just pressing them in. Same for the mic. You can mute your mic as well as your instrument if you have an instrument connected. And you can see a real live gain levels there in real life. Here we are with the Maono P1 with the Fifine K688. No processing, no EQ, no anything. Listen to the noise floor. Hear that? Too loud. And I can see my levels are pretty high up. So let's drop that down just a bit, just so we can get a good level of gain and not destroy our ears and get rid of some of that noise floor, get a good level of audio here, right? A little bit up there in the yellow between -12 and -18 dB is typically kind of where you want to be. This is the audio quality of the XLR. Let's switch over to USB. This is USB audio. No filters with USB, but the thing with USB is that USB is a lot of bit more quiet than XLR here. It will do a good job at killing off some noise in your environment at the sacrifice of some decent audio quality. So it's kind of give it a give and take there. A cool feature that the P1 has is an auto gain feature. So if you feel like you don't know where exactly to set your gain, you can allow the device itself to kind of determine what your gain should sound like. So right now I do have the K688 going live here. We're going to set auto gain very easily here with our P1. Now all you have to do is hold down your mic button here for a few seconds and it's going to go into an auto gain setup. And what you want to do as you're setting up your auto gain is have your mic placed exactly where you want to have it. So 6 to 8 inches away, which is a good distance. All you got to do is hold this button for a few seconds, talk normally with your normal audio as I'm speaking right now at this distance. And this is how I'm going to talk to you guys out there in the audience. And I'm going to allow this to give you or give me the gain that I need at my normal speaking voice. So, all right, now that my gain is set, it sounds a little low in my ears. I don't know if it's a good level of gain. I feel like it's a little bit on the low side for the distance that I'm speaking. So maybe it could use a little bit more gain because I'm still not in that -12 to -18 dB that I would like here. So let's go ahead and bump that up. Right here is probably a good level of gain, though. When I boost that up, I pick up that noise floor because, well, the noise floor for this microphone in XLR isn't so low. But we can improve that with some noise suppression. 1, 2, 3. Noise suppression's on. Do you hear any noise going on in my audio right here, techies and gamers? I can still hear it because I'm monitoring live, but you let me know what this audio now sounds like in XLR with just some noise suppression versus what you get via USB. Is this audio a little bit more clear and more detailed, a lot more definition in the audio in XLR versus what you get in USB like such. This is USB audio in your mouth. What do you think of this audio quality? Just USB plug and play out of box. Haven't done anything to it, not even added noise suppression, versus XLR audio right here in your live little throat. What? This is the audio quality in XLR with the P1. What do you think of that? I'm gonna let you know at the end what my take is of this. Now, the cool thing with OBS is that it does in fact support VST plugins, as does the ProStudio software. You can add an actual EQ versus the standard EQ stuff that comes with OBS. I'm going to probably make something a little bit more custom in terms of like presets and EQ here. For my audio, sibilance is actually not bad. Sibilance, let's kill off some of that sibilance. You can kill sibilance off a little bit like such, just a little bit. But you can also introduce a little bit of crispiness in your mic like such. If you wanted to add some low end to your audio like such, maybe you can add a lot of it or just a little bit. Kill off some of that mid-range, and there you go. You got yourself an EQ already live and in your fly. What? If you're interested in adding this VST plugin to your DAW, for example, your OBS for the ProStudio, which you can import VSTs or any other software, I'll leave that. Well, you can see the name of it here on the front of it, but I'll leave the link in the description so you can have some EQ options. Cool beans. And now we got ourselves a cool EQ. I don't know what it sounds like because I'm monitoring directly from the P1 and not actual OBS. Here we are with USB mode. Just to be fair, I actually added some compressor, some noise suppression, a little bit of EQ utilizing that very same EQ plugin. And this is the sound quality that I got out of it in USB. So with a plugin or with any EQ, you can turn a USB mic into something that sounds pretty decent, but it also isn't as rich because this is a 16-bit USB. So for professionals or audio engineers looking to get more fidelity, more detail in your audio, more information to process or to manipulate in post or live, USB is going to be limited here. But when you switch over to XLR, you're going to have a lot more detail via XLR. Back over to XLR. Hear that? Very fine details you can get in XLR. So when you're enunciating your words and pronouncing every little sound and syllable and little crackliness, XLR is going to do that. It's going to pick it up. It's 24-bit off the rip, so you're getting more detail and more information, enunciation on the high ends, even with just a little bit of sparkle added to it. Versus in USB, it does sound good at first listen, but when you start to listen to some of the enunciation, it's not as crispy there with that noise that I'm making with my mouth. So you lose a little bit of detail and information and sparkliness and crispiness and all of those things that you may want to get in professional audio, in singing, podcasting audio, right? So just something to consider in USB with this microphone anyway, 16-bit and USB versus using the P1 and XLR. A lot more detail and things you can do with the audio in post or even live. Let me know what you think of this interface and if it's something that you would be willing to get into at $125 price point. I think at $125, it's a pretty decent price point considering that it also includes a free software, which is the Maono ProStudio software for the P1. So you're kind of getting a lot for your money, right? Little bang for your buck there because the streaming software is pretty involved. And I think if you're a content creator, a gamer or something like that, podcast, it has just enough routing options, sound effects, and the sort. I think this setup right here is pretty ideal. And if you don't like this microphone, you can get a cheaper microphone and still make it sound nice with the Maono P1 and a little bit of EQ options here. Free EQ plugin. So yeah, that's my spill on it. That's all I got for you, techers and gamers. I'll see you in the next video. Get out of here, go outside and touch the grass.